Hello YouTube, and I'm back. So I'm going to talk about the most recent news now, kind of an update of my previous video about the CW canceling basically almost over half their programming. So it was just announced yesterday that Tom Swift, the new CW show, which is a spinoff of Nancy Drew, is canceled. I think it's been running for about 4 weeks, and I've seen the ratings and they have not been good, but it has officially been canceled by the CW. Now, I heard somewhere that Tom Swift had like an early season 2 renewal. I never heard that. Maybe I missed it in the news. I'm not entirely sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But I was kind of surprised by this. I thought they would just wait until like maybe towards the end of the season. I'm not sure. I just did not expect them to quickly cancel it. But then again, looking back at it, a few months ago, they canceled everything. So it should not be a surprise. But this confirms to me, and I was kind of thinking about it yesterday after I heard the news. I was like, okay, I kind of might understand what they're doing here. So it seems like from shows that the newer shows that are going to premiere, like Tom Swift, the Gotham Knights TV show, the Supernatural prequel, and the Walker prequel, those are still in contention. Those are not like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to keep these shows. They are testing them out to see if they will hold an audience. And that goes for even the shows that were renewed, I'm going to assume. Being like, okay, so we're going to really look at these shows and see if they're going to be renewed. Because also yesterday, or I think it was the same day, Nexus, they're discussing about Nexus and taking over the CW and like them getting like the network is $100 million debt. I put the article in the description so you can read it for yourself. So they're still talking about that just now. And I'm thinking like, I understand that you have to have programming, but for this show, to have a dark skin, gay male lead and have this be like a queer, show, we rarely see two black men together. I'm just wondering, why would they even do a spinoff when it's going to be canceled? And I know since last year that the network heads knew that something like this was going to happen in the future, but they still trudged along. And also I'm thinking, if they were trying to parcel out what shows to keep and what shows not to keep, why not just give Legends their last season at the very least? Give them, say, hey, Legends is renewed for an 8th and final season. Here are the 10 episodes, and let that be that. I feel like that would have, to me personally, I would understand, everybody would understand, and the writers would be like, we understand, let's go ahead and write our last season, and let that be that. And, I mean, with Batwoman, I would have enjoyed like a 4th and final season of like them getting stuff together and actually have an actual ending. But I'm satisfied with the ending that we got, and it seems like the other shows that were canceled were warned beforehand to be like, hey, you might want to write this as your series finale because we don't know what's going on. So, I mean, they do know what's going on, but they, were very, tentative of not really telling people. So, it really confirms to me that they are going to basically clean house. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen to like the shows of like Superman and Lois and Stargirl, because those two shows were not created for the CW. Especially Stargirl, because that was, created way back when we had the DC Universe app, and that's on HBO Max, and we all know Superman and Lois gets funding from HBO Max. So, in the near future where there's no more CW, those two shows could thrive on HBO Max. And maybe the All-American shows also, considering they do bring in a lot of the audience. So yeah, it's very confusing time, and like I said, I'm not surprised. And as the Flash, we just got informed that Candace signed off for series 9, so there's still that. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, if they're going to look at the contention for that, because as far as ratings go, the Flash isn't doing well neither. So we'll just have to see. So like I said before, I think what they're doing here is testing out the new shows and also still testing out the shows that they already have too, that they've already renewed. And like if these shows are at least not doing well ratings wise as they wanted them to, they are going to basically cancel them no matter what. And like I said before in my other video, it does seem that it is confirmed that Nexus is looking forward to doing like more quote unquote wholesome programming. So I'm thinking like WB era, One Tree Hill, Friday Night Lights teas, the OC, Dawson's Creek, that era, late 90s, early 2000s, majority white, cis, straight programming. I mean, granted, those shows were good for what they were in that time, but we've moved way past that now. And it seems like, the Nexus people want to regress the network back to that time for some reason. And I just want to say the reason why people are not watching network TV is not because of the quality of TV. I mean, that may be it, but also we have an oversaturation of television. We got so many streaming services. There are so many ways to watch TV. We're on YouTube for 24/7 for crying out loud. There's so many social media apps that have video on it. Everyone's minds are distracted. And so I just want to say that the reason why this is happening is not because of some woke agenda, whatever BS that those alt-right losers want to say. It's because oversaturation of TV, everybody's watching everything 24/7. We got so much stuff. So I just want to say that. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your theories on them testing out these shows on this network? Give me your opinions by YouTube.